Hey, welcome back to another Jog video. It's your man Jake, aka Captain I Hate America, and you're watching gameplay footage of Overwatch while listening to the audio of my wonderful, or maybe not so wonderful, voice rant about any kind of topic. In this video, I want to ask the question, are anti-communists insecure? Without further ado, let's just jump right in. There's a prevalent perception anti-communists have where they believe anything that is remotely pro-communist must be inherently propaganda. They then often choose to dismiss all reading entirely of any leftist piece. Even the Communist Manifesto can be super effective against a person of this average type. But what's never mentioned is the revelation about such an individual and the perception they might have. A person who is confident in their critical faculties would not reject the challenge of reading dissenting material so readily. The decision to refuse even eyeing the covers of leftist texts displays an underlying insecurity. It would not be unreasonable to conclude the anti-communist individual does not have faith in their own intellectual ability to analytically differentiate between truth and falsity. We should observe this existence of a lack of self-faith as a potential problem. Any Marxist will know this lacking exists because of the absence of materialist, historical, and dialectical thinking within anti-communist thought. But to non-Marxists, this specific point will most likely not be sufficiently convincing. If this argument isn't enough for you, then let me put it this way. If communist propaganda is so powerful that you must resist reading any text of it entirely, then how can said anti-communist individual feel confident enough that communism is wrong? Perhaps, I'm too mistaken, but I would argue in order to be truly confident, and therefore also correct about communism being some version of fundamentally mistaken, one must know at least some of the ins and outs of Marxism and its related ideas. It would be difficult to argue that any anti-communist person would be capable of maintaining pressing and relevant criticisms against Marxism and the like without having the citations and evidence to disprove the claims of Marx. If I were to ask any anti-communist person what went wrong during the Chinese Cultural Revolution and Mao's impact on the events, would the average American liberal or conservative be able to tell me exactly what went wrong? Or would they only end up parroting yet another piece of US propaganda? Even American academics, for example, are entirely insulated in the highly filtered information the US State Department allows within the country. Isolationism is the key to American domination, and I'll make a video about that in the future. Interestingly, and perhaps counterintuitively to the average anti-communist, Marxists, Marxist-Leninists, Marxist-Leninist Maoists, and other similar persons of these political analyses already include thorough in-group criticisms. Marxists have an entire history of dialectics influencing its political ideological nature. It's a science meant to improve upon itself, and the successes of actually existing socialist states proves the adaptability potential of Marxism. Cuba, Vietnam, and China would not all continue to be successful socialist projects without this adaptability. And before any non-Marxist or Marxist says, well, what about the USSR? Oh, well, wait till you hear all about that. Another video for another day. Besides, even though the USSR is no more, they still defeated the Nazis and had a great legacy as well. Fact of the matter is, communism can withstand insane resistance from the most powerful military force in the history of the world and develop under their own thriving economies. Communist-run nations continue to withstand both U.S. economic and imperial expansion, and the most indoctrinated Westerners cannot see past what they've been taught. And this is the crux of the issue. As leftists, it's already extremely difficult explaining, for example, to a liberal or conservative just all the ways we've been lied to, all the ways our governments and corporations deceive us, how to properly analyze political situations, how to apply material analysis, etc. And the non-Marxist lack of proper analysis can be seen in the average Westerner with just how much they have no clue how indoctrinated and isolated they are from the politics of the rest of the world and the rest of the world in general. For instance, every American without the right anti-capitalist understanding is frankly doomed to be a product of the lies this country pumps out. No American questions the Ukraine support against Putin's invasion. No American questions the insane depravity of George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson was a serial slave R-word, and George Washington would cycle his slaves from different locations, moving them around to prevent them from organizing and rising up against him. Truly the highest quality of behavior from our founding fathers. Even down to American media, literature like The Hunger Games and video games like BioShock in the modern age all too frequently repeat the same mistaken misinformation, and they have no clue. Propaganda, brainwashing, oh no, that only happens to other people, like communists. It's just ridiculous. And to be honest, I think anti-communists know deep down this is a real issue. They know they don't have the full picture. They know there might be some communist ideas they do in fact agree with. But so much of specifically America's conditioning imprisons the minds of the average American, and so therefore they cannot see their own bias and the extent of which they cannot accurately analyze socialism. So when we talk about the failures of communist or socialist projects in the past, you don't need an anti-communist perspective in order to properly dissect and criticize Marxism, because true radical leftists will be way more equipped to critique our own failures than fascist moderates or apoliticals ever could. It's unwise to get information about what communism really is from those who A, have a vested interest in misinforming working class people on what communism or socialism really is, and B, don't even have correct, direct, relevant, or legitimate criticisms due to the Red Scare campaign and anti-communist philosophy impacting and distorting the truth for so long in America so that it might never see the light of day. I would recommend just asking us Marxists any question you may have. You'll get a better answer anyway. If you've made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my content, and I appreciate anyone listening to what I have to say. If you'd like, you can like and subscribe to see more content, or feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments. I hope everybody is doing okay. Take care, and well wishes to you all. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.